My channel. I'm so excited to share with you the second trimester tips that I have. I'm sorry it has taken too long, but the wait is over, so let's check it out. It's the period between the 13th week to the 28th week mark, just to put it out there. So let's go to tip number 1. That is, enjoy foods that you do not usually like. I found out that in my second trimesters for both pregnancies for my boys, I was all about eating things that I don't usually eat on a daily basis. Things like avocados, cabbages, and mangoes. Funny enough, I could eat mangoes without throwing up. That was pretty interesting. So I was like, let me enjoy as much of these foods as I can, because I do not know if after this I'm going to reset back to my usual self. You should try the foods that you normally would not like, and then it might surprise you. You will find them nice to eat at that point. Rest, of course, during your pregnancy it is important to rest, but on your second trimester, you know, things are moving along, you're starting to get to your old self, you may forget to rest. Now, if you're a first-time mom and it's your first pregnancy, you have loads of time to rest. But if you're a mom of a few more kids, 2 or more, this requires lots of planning, since you have also to split your time between the way you feel and also catering to your children or your household tasks, all that. So this might require you to wake up earlier than usual. You might be required to do things, hire help probably at some point, so that you can be able to have a little bit of rest. But mostly it is important to rest, especially when they are sleeping. If they are toddlers, when they sleep, you sleep. But if you have older children, that may not be the case. It's easier for you to ask them to do a particular task, and they can sit by themselves and do some tasks. But if it's toddlers, you know, the struggle is real. You'll be running as much as they do. So it is important to plan your time so that you can be able to rest as much as you can. It's more like a mention rather. I noticed that in my first pregnancy I had motion sickness, lots and lots of it in my first trimester. I could not keep anything down when I'm in motion, especially in matatus, and going to the clinic was such a struggle. But the second one, not so much, since I was just mobile and I could walk to the clinic. But I noticed on the second trimester all these changes, and it kind of ends. But what is most common is nausea, the morning sickness. I have no idea why they call it morning sickness, because this happens all the time, or any time, at whatever place you are in. You can have a certain food and everything just goes haywire and you want to throw up. So I find out that at second trimester this ends, and that is an awesome time, because now you can enjoy as much foods as you would like without worrying about throwing up at any moment. So that is one particular thing I loved about the second trimester, because I had really bad morning sickness or nausea, and it was really hard to keep anything down or eat. You know, you can't eat, you can't keep your weight right, all that stuff goes on. And so when you don't eat, you know, your emotions also go haywire. So that's one awesome thing about second trimester. As like I said in my previous 10 tips video, I'll link it in the description box below or in the cards above. Exercise is very important whether you're pregnant or not. And on your second trimester, you can always find videos on YouTube. You can always find books that explain the safest ways to exercise. It is important to exercise to keep your body supple for all these happenings in your body, and especially do your squats. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Do your squats. And you know, like the way you can sit at the pit latrine, if you've gone to Shags, you understand, or Kenyan, and most Africans use pit latrines rather. And also it is the kind of the best way to go to the toilet, really. sorry for the TMI. You can sit at that position for around 4 minutes, less time or more time depending on how fit you are, and trust me, that is going to work on your pelvis. You can be able to prepare yourself for a normal delivery if you are planning on a normal delivery. That is, it can be different for various people, but also even if you're going through CS, it's advisable to exercise, walk a lot, all that good stuff. Your lunges, your kegels, all these are important to keep you at your best shape ever. Just on how you sit, it is important to sit upright and not lounging back, especially when you're watching a movie or watching or enjoying a series or just sitting around. It is important to sit upright. I cannot emphasize it, excuse me, more about how important this is. You know why? Because when you're growing some being inside of you, that means there is pressure going on to your lower back, and once you lean back, guess where all that weight goes? It goes to one specific place at your back, and that's where the back pains originate from. So yeah, sitting upright is really important. And you know, this time your belly is not that big, but you know, your child is growing and they're gaining weight. As they gain weight, the more pressure they are going to apply onto your back. So that's also an awesome tip to heed. Yeah. Okay, any ordinary Kenyan, we have to do our chores, all of them by hand. So, and especially laundry, if you have to do laundry and you're pregnant, remember, bending too much is not that good. Though there's some women who even go to the shamba at their third trimester with the full belly and they still dig. Yeah, it depends on where you've grown up and how your body is, how can I say it, experienced to do some things. But if you have to do laundry, you can always place a bench or a table in front of you, and then you can place your basins and do your laundry. That is safest. You know, you're not supposed to do heavy lifting, too much heavy lifting. There is all that pressure you're putting onto your belly when you lift. So just make sure you have a raised bench when you're doing the laundry. Yeah, simple as that. Number 7, I did not know of such a thing until I was on my second pregnancy, but I think, or I believe, it's a very interesting practice. It's called J breathing or hypnobirthing. I think I can find some resources and link them down in the description box below for you. Yeah, what it means is that when you J breathe, it's like you breathe in through your nose, and then while you're breathing out slowly, it's like you're breathing through your body, all through your body and not through your nose or your mouth. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. I'll link some resources below because I saw that it's like a practice or some sort of meditation that can prepare your mind and body for delivery, especially if you are planning on a normal delivery. You breathe in through your nose and out through your body. It's kind of interesting. You can actually do it whether you're pregnant or not. It's kind of relaxing, and it helps you be aware of your body and how you're reacting to things. And it is a plus if it's going to help with the delivery, because every battle is won by the mind. That's what I believe, and I tried this out on my second pregnancy, and I remember being more relaxed and in control of how my contractions are happening because of that simple trick about learning how to breathe. And also, as they say, the J breathing expert, if I may say so, they say that the sooner you start on this, especially in your second trimester, you'll be in control by the time you're in your third trimester, and that way things are going to move along easier, and you're able to control how you react to your contractions and how you view them, and I think that helps with a lot of your mindset, and you won't go screaming or be in shock when you're having those contractions, because they go up, plateau, and down. Because I don't think it's really a tip, but you can find out that on your second trimester, probably because now you can put your food, you can eat your food without throwing up much, or things have stabled a little bit in your body. That means now your emotions are starting to kind of balance. Like, I find out it was very funny for my second, both pregnancies, let's say, but for my second pregnancy it was much harder because I had a toddler at that point. It was really annoying to have him, you feel like they're disturbing you, you feel like you're too tired to play, you feel like, why isn't this person listening to me? But I found out that at the second trimester, that is at the point where I could know I was happier to have him around. I could play with him. Your emotions are in check. And thank God for that period, because I really hated the first trimester where I had to feel like this kid is like, oh, why are you like this, man? Why are you like this? But the second trimester, now your mind is right. Now you can be able to think like, okay, I can understand my baby better. I can play. Have I said play already? I'm repeating myself. So yeah, let's just say that your emotions are in check. Happens at the second trimester. Of course, all this is pretty interesting, and second trimester is like the bombest time in a pregnancy. It's like the in-between horrible and horribler, if that's a word. But I found out that the second trimester, that's when you can start feeling your baby's emotions. You feel things like two butterflies going through, and then there's nothing as precious as feeling your child move for the first time, like actual bump or such. So that's something to look forward to in your second trimester, and it is pretty awesome, for lack of a better word. There's a new YouTuber rather, like me, called Method Mutunda. I liked his channel. He's hilarious. I'll put a link in the description box below if you want to follow him. I think he's adorable. Yeah, so that's just, a by the way. Close to my heart, because I am one of those people, and it's all about anti-D shots. Now, for me, I'm an O-negative person, and for all of us who have our biology right, you know that O-negatives can only receive blood from O-negatives. Otherwise, there's going to be, there was this clotting that happened when you mix bloods that have different rhesuses. We only have two rhesus factors, the positive and the negative. Now, being an O-negative mom can be a bit risky. So ensure you know the blood type of your partner before you have kids, or when you have kids and you did not know this. It's important also to know, especially if you are an O-negative mom. What happens is that past pregnancies are not usually affected much with this, but if you are planning to have more children, you have to have some anti-D shots at around 28 weeks. And I think there's supposed to be 2, because I had 2 at 28 weeks, and I think at 34 or 32 weeks, and also after childbirth. Let me explain. If you have not yet been sensitized, that's what they say when your antibodies have already formed in your bloodstream. That means you can prevent it, and if it is preventable, why then go through the process of having to start treatment? As I may say, prevention is better than cure. So if you are not yet sensitized, that is if you've never had an abortion before, or if you've never had a miscarriage before, or an ectopic pregnancy that perhaps had to be removed, that means that you can prevent it. And at 28 weeks you can have your anti-D shots, and then at either 32 or 34. And if you have had this, I have no experience with people who have already had this type of miscarriages or ectopic pregnancies or had an abortion, but I presume that before they get pregnant they have to go to a doctor and have probably some shots done to them. I am not sure about that, so if you've had such experiences even before you be pregnant, it is important to consult a doctor at this point. But if you have not experienced such things, just know it's at 28 weeks and then probably after birth, because that's where the mommy's blood and the baby's blood are able to mix. If a child ends up rhesus factor negative, it's okay, you do not require another shot. My top 10 tips in trimester, or the ones I could remember. Funny enough, you forget a lot about things that that happen when you're in pregnancy after all that ordeal is over. So I hope it was all informative and entertaining and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I post every Tuesday. And also, once you've subscribed, there's a notification bell at the bottom where you can also click on it. That way you're going to get notifications every time I post a new video. I'm working on a few things, and I hope that in the near future I'll have more videos for you. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.